Welcome to Development Book Club. Today we continue with the Numerical Discourses of the Buddha, and 18th video of the year, and we're finally actually getting to the Buddha's actual words. Yay for us! Thanks for sticking with it. And I want to, as I said in the last video, there's not a sort of thematic structure to this book. It's structured basically just on the numbers, like which discourses have number 1 in them or 2 up to 11. Given that, I just want to read through a couple of things. I'm through the first 3.5 books so far, or chapters of the book. This is hilarious. This is going to be so deep. What does the Buddha have to say? And the very first sutta that is mentioned in the chapter of 1 is called No Other Form. And it's something you don't hear the Buddha, at least from my experience, speak about often. And in that, so I love, he says, even though, he says, no other form do I know, O monks, that so persists in obsessing the mind of a man as the form of a woman. And he does say the converse about women and men. Great introduction there, or beginning, right? Page 1. So there's a couple that I picked out that I wanted to read for you. Repaying one's parents, something you don't also hear the Buddha speak about or quoted frequently. So it says, repaying one's parents. This is in the chapter of the twos. I declare, O monks, that there are 2 persons that one can never repay. What 2? One's mother and father. Even if one should carry about one's mother on one shoulder and one's father on the other, and while doing so should live 100 years, reach the age of 100 years, and if one should attend to them by anointing them with salves, by massaging, bathing, rubbing their limbs, and they should even void their excrements there, even by then would one not do enough for one's parents. One would not repay them. Even if one were to establish one's parents as supreme lords and rulers over this earth, so rich in the 7 treasures, one would not do enough for them. One would not repay them. What is the reason for this? Parents do so much for their children. They bring them up, feed them, and guide them through this world. But, O monks, one who encourages his unbelieving parents settles and establishes them in faith, who encourages his immoral parents settles and establishes them in virtue. One who encourages his stingy parents settles and establishes them in generosity, who encourages his ignorant parents settles and establishes them in wisdom. Such a one, O monks, does enough for his parents. He repays them and more than repays them for what they have done. That's pretty cool. A few more brief ones. Just keep these short. Next one is called the Three Mentalities, obviously from the chapter of 3s, and it is about the same length. So he says, there are, O monks, 3 types of persons found in the world. What 3? There is one with a mind like an open sore, one with a mind like lightning, one with a mind like a diamond. Of what nature, monks, is the person with a mind like an open sore? He is one who is irascible and irritable. If he is criticized even slightly, he loses his temper and becomes angry and upset. He is stubborn and displays anger, hatred, and resentment. Just as, for instance, a festering sore, if struck by a stick or a shred, will discharge matter all the more. Even so is the person who is irascible and displays anger, hatred, and resentment. Such a person is said to have a mind like an open sore. Type 1. Type 2. And of what nature is the person with a mind like lightning? He is one who understands as it really is. Quote, this is suffering, unquote. He understands as it really is also, this is the origin of suffering. He understands as it really is, this is the cessation of suffering. He understands as it really is, this is the path leading to the cessation of suffering. Just as a man with good sight can see objects in the darkness of night by a flash of lightning, even so a person understands these 4 noble truths as they really are. Such a person is said to have a mind like lightning. So, an open sore, like lightning, and now a diamond. What is the nature of a mind like a diamond? He is one who, by the destruction of the taints, in this very life enters and dwells in the taintless liberation of mind. Liberation by wisdom, having realized it for himself, by direct knowledge. The Buddha is always repeating this phrase. Just as there is nothing that a diamond cannot cut, be it a gem or a rock, even so a certain person, by the destruction of the taints, in this very life enters and dwells in the taintless liberation of mind, liberation by wisdom, having realized it for himself by direct knowledge. Such a person is said to have a mind like a diamond. These 3 types of people are found in the world. Two more quick ones, the last of which, like the first one on the parents, also has a reference to excrement or avoiding excrement. The stream, this one's even shorter. From the Book of Fours, both of these are. These four kinds of persons, O monk, are to be found in the world. What for? The person who goes with the stream, the person who goes against the stream, one who stands firm, presumably in the stream, and one who has crossed over and gone to the far shore, a Brahmin who stands on dry land. Of what nature is the person going with the stream? It is one who indulges his sensual desire and who commits wrong deeds. Of what nature is he who goes against the stream, or she? It is one who does not indulge sensual desire and commit wrong deeds. He lives the holy life, though in painful struggle, with difficulty, sighing, and in tears. This is like Nietzsche's maybe camel spirit, if you've read that. Of what nature is one who stands firm? It is one who, with the utter destruction of the 5 lower fetters, is due to be reborn spontaneously in a celestial realm, and there attain final nibbana, without ever returning from that world. Of what nature is one who has crossed over and gone to the far shore? A Brahmin who stands on dry land. It is one who, with the destruction of the taints, in this very life enters and dwells in the taintless liberation of mind, liberation by wisdom, having realized it for himself by direct knowledge. These monks are the 4 kinds of persons to be found in the world. So you can see the crossover between the 3 mentalities and the 4 types of people, or the stream. Last one is the lion, also from the Book of Fours. Monks, the lion, the king of beasts, comes forth from his lair in the evening. Then he stretches himself, surveys the 4 directions all around, and roars 3 times his lion's roar, after which he sets out in search of prey. Now, whatever animals hear the lion's roar are for the most part gripped by fear, excitement, and terror. Those animals which live in holes hide in their holes. Those which live in forests resort to the forest, and birds rise into the sky. All the royal elephants living in the villages, towns, or capital cities, tethered with strong leather thongs, burst and break those thongs, and, voiding excrement, they run here and there full of fear. So much power, O monks, has the lion, the king of beasts, over the animals. So mighty is his influence and majesty. Just so, monks, the Tathagata, which is one of the terms the Buddha uses to refer to himself, which means one who has gone thus. Thus, the Tathagata arises in the world, an arahant, fully enlightened, accomplished in true knowledge and conduct, sublime knower of the world, unsurpassed leader of persons to be tamed, teacher of the devas and humans, the enlightened one, the blessed one. Quite an introduction for yourself, Buddha. He teaches the Dhamma thus. Such is personality, such is the origin of personality, such is the cessation of personality, such is the path leading to the cessation of personality. So we'll find this a couple times throughout this book of suttas, that normally that would be suffering for the Four Noble Truths, right? But he will substitute a different word, personality in this case. Then monks, whatever devas there be, long-lived, lovely, full of happiness, living for a long time in their lofty celestial abodes, they too, when hearing the Tathagata's teaching of the Dhamma, are for the most part gripped by fear, excitement, and terror, and exclaim, "Oh, we who thought ourselves to be permanent are really impermanent. We who thought ourselves to be secure are really insecure. We who thought ourselves to be eternal are really non-eternal. So indeed we are impermanent, insecure, and non-eternal, and are within the sphere of personality. So much power, O monks, has the Tathagata over this world, with its devas so mighty in its influence in majesty." That's what I wanted to share today. A couple thoughts on that. Lots of repetitiveness in each sutta within itself. They're wordy, and you think that they used to be sort of sung before they were written down, and you can kind of hear that or read that in the writing. It sounds, I know this is anachronistic to say this, but it sounds quite Socratic, actually, the way in which he sort of, it's a monologue, but he's sort of engaging with, when he says, "Oh, monks," often. And stay tuned next time for the next little chunk of the Numerical Discourses of the Buddha.